Coming up in Business Daily, Nigeria government unveils credit scheme for local product purchase. Dangote resumes U.S. crude purchases after 3 months. And the FCCPC warns of substandard sugar in markets. Hello and welcome to Business Daily, where we delve into the world of business. My name is Amaka Daniels. In the oil sector, where the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it has commenced sales of its latest crude oil grade, the Utapade crude oil blend, to international refineries 6 months after it began exploration. Now, the company said that the development is a major boost for Nigeria's crude oil production, revenue generation, and economic growth efforts. A statement signed by the Chief Corporate Communications Officer of the NNPCL, Olufemi Sonaye, on Wednesday in Abuja, stated that the new product was unveiled before a packed audience of European crude oil marketers at the ongoing Argus European Crude Conference taking place in London, England. In July 2024, the NNPCL and its partner, the Sterling Oil Exploration and Energy Production Company Limited, introduced the Utapade crude oil blend following the lifting of the first cargo of 950,000 barrels, which headed for Spain. Produced from the Utapade field in the oil mining lease 13 in Akwa Ibom State, the Utapade crude oil blend is similar to the Nembe crude oil grade. However, it has a low sulfur content of 0.0655% and a low carbon footprint due to the flare gas elimination, fitting perfectly into the required specifications of major European buyers. Still in the oil sector, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has recommenced the purchase of crude oil from the United States in its ongoing efforts to ramp up oil production and enhance its refining capacity. The new purchase comes after a 3-month hiatus in purchasing crude from foreign countries, focusing instead on domestic supply. Now, a report on Wednesday said that a cargo conveying 2 million barrels of WTI Midland crude from Chevron Corp is due to be delivered to the refinery next month. This development may be an indication that the Naira for Crude initiative by the federal government may have stalled, or that the refinery is not getting enough crude supply from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Recall that earlier this year, Dangote was typically receiving 1 or 2 super tankers of U.S. crude every month alongside domestic supplies. However, these imports were reduced around August following an agreement with the federal government of Nigeria that the NNPCL would supply crude oil to the refinery in Naira rather than dollars. The National Insurance Commission has highlighted 5 key priorities it has to drive and set contributions to achieve the $1 trillion economy target of President Bola Tinubu. The Commissioner for Insurance, Olusegun Omosehin, revealed that the National Insurance Commission is committed to aligning the insurance sector with the President's goal of growing the Nigerian economy to $1 trillion by 2030. The Commission is also committed to creating the necessary regulatory framework required to achieve meaningful contributions from the insurance sector. Now, while reiterating the stance of the Commission on timely payment of claims, the Commissioner said that insurers should significantly reduce their outstanding claims by the end of the year. Still in the business sector, with Nigeria's financial and economic challenges taking a heavy toll on families and businesses, especially small and medium-scale enterprises, many business owners are now appealing to President Bola Tinubu to implement measures that will rescue them from shutting down.
This inflation affects bakery. The raw materials now is not key, something else. Sometimes the business starts with flour, sugar, butter, yeast, and the rest. Buying sugar now in the market, it was 64 then. Now, sugar is over 70,000. Flour or 64. Flour now is over 70,000, thereabout. Then butter 35,000. Then now butter is 41,000. Oil 42,000. Now oil is 70,000. Yeast 49,000. Now yeast is 60,000. So even to break even in the business now is very, very difficult. Government fold its hand and watch us. I think we can't continue.
Before, we normally sell the least tire 3,000 naira. But now the least tire is sold at the rate of 12,000 naira. While the one who sold at the one of 6,000 naira, it is sold now at the rate of 28,000 naira. So normally it affects our business because those importers in the market, they normally give us goods on credit when the price was a little bit good down. But now we can't buy goods on credit. When the price was a little bit okay, we have many customers. But now we sit down 1 hour, 2 hours without nobody saying, oh, how much is this? So now things have changed. As in, even people step out, they are parking their bikes.
The level of inflation in Nigeria today has gone chronic to the extent that it has thrown some of the people out of business. Because if you are to indulge in any business, there are some businesses where you require to move about, you need fuel to operate your machines, and the cost is going higher and higher. Yes, the solution is that government should come in immediately because we have what is known as a price control board, which used to be functional before. I don't know whether it is functioning now. The prices of items in the market are to be controlled. Otherwise, the level of inflation where it is taking us is only God who knows. If prices are controlled in the market, then the economy will stabilize. Everything will come back to normalcy.
While the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation has kicked off its project tagged Securing Consumer Access for Local Enterprises, an initiative which aims to accelerate the growth of Nigeria's local industries by providing consumer credits to Nigerians, specifically for the purchase of goods and services of local vendors and manufacturers. Now, this initiative is part of President Bola Tinubu's vision for the acceleration of consumer credit access for Nigerians to improve quality of life, stem corruption, and catalyze industry. The corporation notes that this project connects Nigerian consumers with credible local manufacturers and vendors across critical sectors while ensuring that consumers can afford these products via an affordable consumer credit. The program is expected to empower both consumers and producers to thrive by driving access to locally made products and incremental value addition across 5 high-impact thematic areas. You're still watching Business Daily, and the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is warning Nigerians to beware of substandard sugar in the market. Find out more right after this break. Welcome back. You're still watching Business Daily, and textile workers and employers, as well as labor leaders in the country, say it is possible for Nigeria to build a more resilient and sustainable industry sector that drives long-term prosperity. Now, they spoke at the 36th Annual National Education Conference of the National Union of Textile, Garment and Tailoring Workers of Nigeria, in conjunction with the Nigerian Textile, Garment and Tailoring Employers Association in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The workers revealed that it is essential that the government, employers and labor work together in a coordinated and collaborative manner that will be possible when there is establishment of clear policies and promotion of innovation.
For sustainable industrial development in Nigeria and indeed Africa, it is essential that the government, employers, and labor work together in a coordinated and collaborative manner. Nigeria can build a more resilient and sustainable industrial sector that drives long-term prosperity by establishing other policies, promoting innovation, and ensuring that economic growth benefits all stakeholders.
We need to set up our game, support in valuable ways any legal activities that will increase our production and upturn our GDP.
We should work together, and I think we need to have a formal courtesy call, to remind the president of his promise on how to revive the industry. The way to go is the way you have explained it in your team, which is partnership.
Now move to the maritime sector, where the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Mr. Pius Akuta, says that modernizing the ports and terminals with eco-friendly technology and infrastructure is at the core of their mission. Speaking at an event in Lagos, he noted that by minimizing environmental impact and enhancing operational efficiency, the Council is supporting Nigeria's long-term economic growth. Akuta maintained that the Council is actively promoting research and development into alternative fuels and green shipping practices, which reflects their commitment to sustainable operations. According to him, a sustainable maritime sector relies on skilled professionals with a solid understanding of green practices, and he also reiterated that through capacity-building initiatives, the Council is focused on developing local expertise, ensuring that Nigeria has the human resources needed to lead in sustainable maritime operations. Also, the House of Representatives on Wednesday approved for second reading a bill to ensure adequate funding of mineral resources exploration and extraction through public-private partnerships. Leading the debate on the bill's general principles, Lanre Okunola described the proposed legislation as a transformative framework aimed at advancing Nigeria's mining sector through improving funding, strategic public-private collaboration, and adherence to international best practices in the mineral exploration and extraction sector. He added that the primary goal is to secure adequate funding for exploring and extracting Nigeria's abundant mineral resources through public-private sector partnerships, as this strategy would reduce reliance on oil, diversify the economy, and attract both local and international investments. Now, this bill also outlines measures for leveraging global expertise and diplomatic relationships to attract investors capable of maximizing mineral exploration and extraction across Nigeria. And it's very important to note that the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has warned the public about the circulation of substandard and unregistered sugar products currently in the Nigerian market. He stated that low-quality sugar, primarily smuggled from Brazil, poses significant health risks to consumers and undermines the integrity of the country's local sugar industry. In a statement issued on Wednesday, the FCCPC's Director of Corporate Affairs, Ondaje Jagu, revealed that these illegally imported brands do not meet the mandatory vitamin A fortification requirements set by Nigerian authorities, which potentially puts customers at risk of blindness and other health complications. Now, beyond the health risks, the FCCPC expressed concern about the economic impact of these illicit sugar products, noting that it also undermines fair competition and places local producers who comply with regulatory standards at a significant disadvantage. The agency also explained that the smuggling is reportedly facilitated through porous borders, particularly from neighboring countries like Cameroon and Benin Republic, and it complicates enforcement efforts and hinders traceability. The organization also assured the public that it is taking strong actions to address this particular issue. All right, we'll go for another quick break, and when we return, we'll take more stories for you from Africa and the rest of the world.
Ellen 24/7 is first of all a news station.
Well, we continue with updates from the just concluded governorship
in the southeast has raised questions if INEC will be able to conduct elections.
With a core team of over 40 correspondents spread across Nigeria.
Nigeria is set to take its place.
And affiliates in Africa, Europe, America, and Asia. We give you news as it breaks from the perspective you can trust.
Ellen 24/7 News, where the story goes, we go.
Welcome back. You're still watching Business Daily. On the global scene, the International Monetary Fund says reliable and actionable data is crucial for harnessing the economic potential of artificial intelligence. The managing director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, made these remarks during the fund's 12th Statistical Forum in Washington, D.C. Now, she said that AI has huge potential to boost growth and efficiency. However, it could also disrupt labor and financial markets, as well as exacerbate inequality within and among communities. She said, and I quote, "At a time when many societies are already polarized, AI has the potential to destabilize them further," end quote. Now, the forum, which continues today, brings together policymakers, researchers, private sector representatives, as well as data experts to discuss how AI is reshaping economies. And in Africa, the International Monetary Fund said on Wednesday that its mission had concluded a visit to Egypt and made substantial progress on policy discussions towards the completion of the fourth review of the IMF loan program. The review, which could unlock more than $1.2 billion in financing for the country, is the fourth under Egypt's latest 46-month IMF loan program that was approved in 2022 and expanded to $8 billion this year after an economic crisis marked by high inflation and severe foreign currency shortages. The IMF also said that Egypt has implemented key reforms to preserve macroeconomic stability, which includes the unification of the exchange rate that eased imports, with its central bank reiterating its commitment to sustain a flexible exchange rate regime. Now, earlier on Wednesday, Egypt's Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said that Cairo has asked the IMF to modify the targets for the program, not only for this year, but for its full duration, and he also added without giving more details. Finally, in Africa, Rwanda's central bank held its key interest rate at 6.5% on Thursday after cutting it at the previous two rate-setting meeting this year. Governor John Rogomboa told reporters that the decision was based on uncertainty over the performance of the agricultural sector and that the central bank felt that inflation could be kept within its 3% to 8% target range. The governor said that the East African country's economy has remained strong in the third quarter thanks to the services and industry sectors, and that inflation would average around 4.6% in 2024. Average inflation forecast for next year to 5.8% from 5% because of the impact of adverse weather conditions on farming and its agricultural sector. Well, that's all we have packaged for you today on Business Daily. It doesn't end here. You can always visit our social media handles and our content hub at www.lm247.news for further business news and for other updates. I am Amaka Daniels. Many thanks for watching.